work. I did not put this together all by myself. There's no way I could have done that. First of all, I'd like you to join me in thanking Mr. Groom, Miss Graham, Miss Miller, and Miss Murphy. Could they stand? So, the kids have had so much fun with these costumes. In your program, it lists all the parents who donated. And you know what's wonderful? We had so many parents volunteer to donate materials and help make materials. We couldn't even use everybody who volunteered. So it's not that we forgot you, we just had so many people that we just didn't need everybody. So if you sent in stuff for costumes, could you just stand up so we can thank you, the people who sent in fabric and stuff? Go ahead, don't be shy. Stand up. Thank you very much. Now, we're very fortunate, to have Mrs. Analia Stamps as a mother of our third graders. She has a lot of experience doing costumes for theater, and she coordinated all the costumes. Mrs. Stamps, would you stand up? Also, Mrs. Kerr and Mr. and Mrs. Stamps helped make the costumes, and Mrs. Kerr helped. And two high school students, the Stamps' daughter Kiernan and another high school student, Elizabeth Blakemore, they helped with the costumes. So I thought that was wonderful. Could you thank them? So, also, as you can see, the costumes can be somewhat of a distraction. So yesterday was the first time we practiced with the costumes, and we had some parents come and help the kids get wings pinned into place. They came yesterday afternoon during school, they came this afternoon during school, and they helped again tonight. So could you join me in thanking Mrs. Stamps, Mrs. Maxwell, Mrs. Pickett, Mrs. Bird, and Mrs. Stand up for our name. All right. Also, something new I tried this year, the boys and girls that did the speaking parts, most of them came, please. The boys and girls who did the speaking parts, most of them came after school 3 different times, and Mrs. Buca and Mrs. Maxwell, they each came on one of those times to help me with crowd control. Thank you, ladies, very much. I might have lost my mind. Now, I was starting to think we weren't going to have a backdrop, and I've never had a backdrop like this. You're welcome to take pictures in front of it later. It turns out that Bear, Sebastian Medina's family, they ended up making the backdrop. And I wonder if they got here. Did Jessica Moore get here? Is she here?
No.
She couldn't come. Jessica is Sebastian's sister, and she's a high school student who has done technical theater. She looked up there and said, yeah, I know, we need panels. She's telling me all the stuff I know nothing about. And she designed it, and then their whole family, it was Jessica Moore, Mr. Moore, Miss Hopkins, and her mother, Mrs. Hopkins, and 2 of my former students, Elena and Brianna. They're over. I think you all should stand up to work on the backdrop. Stand up. I'm almost done talking. I just want to remind parents to help your kids leave the costume parts here. And at this time, I want my students who have just finished performing to back up